When I took the most I ever had, I was awake for a whole week.
I gave myself an injection, and as soon as I pulled the syringe, my body was already thrilled.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Nein, alles gut. Danke fürs Wir machen mal eine kurze Pause, oder? Das ist vielleicht besser. Dann kannst du kurz was trinken. Und wenn es dir zu viel wird,
Yeah, everything's fine.
sag auf jeden Fall Bescheid.
Everything's all right.
I was 14 when meth came into the picture.
I just know that she started at 13, so really, really early.
Crystal meth is one of the world's most dangerous drugs. It's cheap to produce, extremely addictive, and has serious health consequences. Few other drugs have such a reputation for ruining lives. Historically, meth use in Europe has been relatively low compared to the US and Asia. European meth used to be concentrated in Czechia, where usage is still highest in Europe. But in recent years, consumption across Europe has risen. Some areas, such as Eastern Germany, are particularly affected. 5 of Europe's 15 highest meth use cities are located there.
Ich vermute, es ist wie generell im Osten von Deutschland einfach so die meistverbreitetste, härteste Droge.
How did this happen? Why here in particular? And who is profiting from all of this?
White people. Jesus
We
Christ.
traveled to Eastern Germany and spoke with experts and former users. These conversations were originally conducted in German. For this video, we have provided dubbing and subtitles. At the same time, we try to understand where this drug comes from, what other areas of Europe are experiencing an increase, and what insidious global structures are behind the crystal meth trade.
Hold on now. Cinema.
It's a cold New Year's Eve in a town in Saxony. Dominic comes from a stable family. At this point, he's 14 years old. He's out celebrating with friends. They decide to buy weed from an acquaintance for 80 euros, but the dealer doesn't have any left. Instead, he offers them a choice. They can keep their 80 euros or use it to try something else. Crystal meth.
Wait.
We tried the crystal without thinking about it. I thought it was funny.
Weed
and
users
just took it for fun.
It won't be the last time.
We did it again the next weekend, and then regularly, every other weekend, and then daily. We started out snorting it, but it really burns your nose. And at first that was still manageable, but after a while it got so painful that we had to find other ways to get our fix. So we smoked it, we drank it, parachuted it.
Parachuting a drug involves wrapping it in thin paper and swallowing it. Over time, the drug's effects get weaker and weaker. Dominic is developing a tolerance.
After a while, the effect wasn't the same. My body was too used to it. The only thing left was injecting it to get the most out of the drug. It's almost the way to get the most bang for your buck.
Yeah, but you're also getting the
Intravenous use
dog
involves
shit too,
dissolving
though.
the meth in water and injecting it with a needle straight into the veins.
Jesus.
At this point, Dominic is 15 years old.
I gave myself an injection, and as soon as I pulled up the syringe, my body was already thrilled. As soon as I felt it course through my veins, my mind went. You know, you jump up, you're wide awake, you're immediately
where does his
on the go.
parents
You're
at, though,
totally,
low-key? I don't
you're
get it.
outgoing, you're chatty. This feeling was just, you just feel great and active and like you could move mountains.
Dominic tells us this first injection was the best high of his life.
Thanks to the drug, I didn't feel alone. And with these people, I never felt excluded. I was never alone.
It's 1938. The pharmaceutical company Temmler introduces the drug Pervitin to the German market, available without a prescription. It contains a novel substance, methamphetamine, the active ingredient of crystal meth. Pervitin is marketed as a stimulant, a wake-up pill. It quickly becomes a bestseller in Germany.
Was möchten Sie in den Kaffee? Milchzucker?
Nur 2 Pervitin, das wird heute ein anstrengender Tag.
Jesus, they were fucking high
A
as fuck.
candy company even launches chocolates that contain pervitin.
What?
They're said to help with so-called housewife depression. 3 to 9 chocolates a day are said to do the trick. 9 chocolates contain about the same amount of methamphetamine as is needed for an average meth high.
That's crazy.
It's not long
brother,
until the
man.
Nazis start using pervitin. By the 1939 invasion of Poland, they'd already used it millions of times. It's a miracle drug for the Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, exactly. I was about
Fear,
to say,
hunger,
like,
fatigue all fade away on meth. Soldiers are more aggressive in combat. But soon, the drug's side effects become impossible to ignore.
Auf Pervitin gingen deutsche Soldaten über ihre Grenzen, bis sie einfach zusammenbrachen. Die Wirkung reichte nicht mehr aus und sie erfroren im Schlaf.
Sie verloren ihren Instinkt für Gefahr, vor allem auch durch Unterkühlung.
Jesus, yeah.
In 1941, pervitin becomes prescription
because they
only.
probably ate like dog shit initially, and that made it even worse. And also their extremities must have been gone cold and shit because of the circulation. It must have been terrible.
Still, it
Must have
remains
been losing
widely
fingers all the
accessible.
time. Like it's
After
awful.
the Second World War, doctors in both East and West Germany continued to prescribe it as a stimulant and pick-me-up. Athletes use it for performance enhancement. In the 1970s, the UN classifies methamphetamine as a Schedule II drug, which outlaws its unauthorized production and sale. Its usage declines throughout Europe. In Germany, pervitin remains on the market until 1988, when medical use of meth becomes illegal. Nowadays, the street name for illegally cooked meth is often still pervitin. Soon, a black market emerges. Small meth labs start producing crystal meth themselves, mostly in the US and Eastern Europe. And by the 1990s, illegally cooked meth finds its way from Eastern Europe to the rest of the continent. Every addiction has an origin story. Ashley's starts at age 20.
I was having some financial difficulties at the time, and I have a daughter. I had her father take care of her until I could sort out my money problems, but I haven't gotten her back since. That was a turning point for me, when I said to myself, I need to get on a different track.
Ashley also wishes to remain anonymous, so we've changed her name. She first comes into contact with meth through her sister.
My sister's been using it basically her whole life, and at one point she took me along with her. She started at about 13, so really, really early.
What?
At first, it wasn't that much. I'd say I did a line every couple of days, maybe every other day.
And it works. Well, sort of. Meth distracts her, takes her mind off things.
For one thing, it keeps you wide awake. One time I was taking it and I didn't
So I
sleep
think
for a week.
we should start having chat on screen.
And it still
low-key.
made me feel
Think about
even
it.
more energetic. It was mostly that I just didn't feel anything anymore. I didn't care about anything. And after a point, it was really often. I was definitely using at least a gram a day.
I ain't a good one.
By
You
then,
you
I
have to give me a
honestly
good
didn't
overlay
care
though, a
anymore.
good one.
Meth begins to take up more and more space in Dominic's life.
Everyone only cared about the drug. That's how it went. You're focused, you're inventive. It's insane. Staying up night after night, doing this and that, and it just keeps going on and on and on. I spent everything I had on it, poured all my money into using, sometimes several hundred euros in a day.
Jesus, buddy.
In my case, I had a good relationship with my dealer. I only paid 25 euros a gram, which just made me use even more.
As Dominic's
does that
meth
make you
use
wanna
increases,
maybe do
he
something
needs
productive?
new ways to get his fix.
At first, I just bought it from a dealer or somebody went to get it for me. By the time I was 16, that didn't work anymore. I was using way more than I could afford. Started driving to the Czech Republic to pick up there.
What?
The exact production cost of a gram of meth is hard to pin down. But in Czechia, the hub of Europe's meth production, you can get it for as little as 10 to 20 euros. Czech authorities report that around 6.5 tons of crystal meth are produced in the country each year. In 2022 alone, police shut down more than 200 illegal meth labs. The country does not only lead in production, it also has some of the highest consumption rates in Europe. Producing meth requires both the right equipment and expertise in chemistry. In Czechia, a country with a strong pharmaceutical industry, you can easily find both. Every meth cook also needs ephedrine, the base ingredient used to make methamphetamine. In Czechia, ephedrine is tightly regulated because of the meth trade. But just across the border in Poland, ephedrine-based medications such as cold medicine can be bought in bulk over the counter. That's where many Czech meth cooks source their supply. Meth cooked in Czechia easily makes its way into Germany. Smuggling it across the border is a lucrative business, whether through big dealers or in countless small shipments.
Hier in Sachsen und in Ostbayern wird sehr viel über sogenannten Ameisenhandel importiert. Ameisenhandel heißt, dass sehr, sehr viele einzelne Personen in kleinen Mengen diese Droge über die Grenze bringen und die Polizei kaum eine Chance hat oder der Zoll dem
Guys, if you watch the ball, you're gonna say, yes, we're
There I
playing
was
it.
taken along by older guys. We called them old
Pseudo.
junkies who were basically just there to do the driving. And of course, there's the Czech dealers. You just go to any pickup spot and they'll be there. But I also drove right into the country and picked it up directly from the lab. We swallowed it, packed it into little parachutes, and smuggled it over the border in our bodies.
According to Czech police,
Oh,
in 2014,
hell no,
about
bruh.
1/3 of Czech meth ended up in Germany. Recent analyses show that methamphetamine residues in the wastewater of East German cities are especially high. We asked Ashley and Dominic, how long does it take to get meth where they live?
I'd say maybe half an hour. I wouldn't say longer than that.
I'd say it doesn't even take 5 minutes. In Chemnitz, Zwickau, Dresden, Leipzig, the scene is well established there. You can just tell. You know exactly where to go.
According to Saxon government officials, meth use in the state isn't increasing, but it's plateaued at a very high level. To understand how underground markets work, many moving parts have to come together. The bigger story emerges through collaboration among
it's
research
saturated, it's
institutions,
user-based. Makes
governments,
sense, actually.
journalists, and above all, the voices of those directly affected. We're grateful to the brave individuals who have shared their stories with us and for the sponsors who make our investigations possible. This video
Yeah, meth is bad.
It's 2014. By now,
No
Dominic
toxic.
is a legal adult. He's been using meth regularly for several years. No job, no university. He's no longer following conventional life paths. He's firmly in the grip of addiction. And it costs him several thousand euros per month. That level of consumption needs to be financed somehow.
In my circle, for sure. Through petty crime, individual offenses, group efforts, I got myself into a lot of trouble with the law.
The more meth he uses, the more crimes he commits.
I started out shoplifting, and let's just say I ended up in much bigger trouble. It just got worse and worse.
So bad, he wound up in prison.
All right. Well, don't do that.
Ja, genau.
Durch die Blume.
This is Dr. Stefan Mühlig. He's a professor of clinical psychology, an addiction researcher, and works with meth users.
Ja, wie sich das anfühlt, das kann ich Ihnen jetzt nur beschreiben aus den Berichten meiner Patienten.
He explains to us why methamphetamine is so addictive.
Es ist so, dass vor allem bei dem allerersten Konsum hier ein erheblicher sogenannter Kick entsteht, also ein explosionsartiger Rauschzustand.
Boom.
Methamphetamine floods the brain with dopamine,
Boom.
the chemical that regulates lust, motivation, and your brain's reward system. It's often nicknamed the feel-good hormone. On average, an orgasm triggers an 80% increase in dopamine release.
Im Vergleich dazu steigt die Dopaminausschüttung bei einem Kokainkonsum, wenn man ihn nasal betreibt, zum Beispiel um 200 bis 400%. Bei Crystal Meth aber um
Yeah, but
1400%.
why not all three
In
at the
other
same
words,
time,
a
though?
single hit of meth can release 17 times more of the pleasure hormone than an orgasm.
Da kann man sich ungefähr die Dimension vorstellen, wie stark dieser Kick ist und wie unvergesslich ein solcher Zustand ist, schon beim allerersten Konsum. Dann sehnt die Person sich dann immer wieder nach diesem ursprünglichen Zustand zurück oder nach diesem sehr starken positiven Rauschzustand.
The first time someone tries meth is enough to lay the foundation for addiction. How quickly that risk turns into full-blown addiction depends on how the drug is consumed. In simple terms, the faster meth reaches the brain, the higher the risk of addiction. Swallowing it takes about 20 minutes for the effects to kick in. Smoking it takes only 5 to 7 seconds. The same goes for injection.
Yeah, well, Jesus
Once
Christ,
the high
don't
wears
do
off,
that.
what follows is a brutal crash.
Der Entzugszustand ist sozusagen das Spiegelbildliche dessen, was man im Rauschzustand erlebt. Also man ist langsam, schlapp, ausgepumpt, energielos, down, depressiv.
Dominic and Ashley each find their own way to endure withdrawal symptoms.
I slept for a week, only waking up a few times to drink something. What I remember is constantly breaking into sweats and having heart and circulation problems from not hydrating enough.
I can only say from my own experience that you just get very tired or you sleep a lot. During that time, I was also severely underweight. Sometimes I didn't eat at all, only when I'd come down a bit.
Die körperliche Abhängigkeit, die ebenfalls entstehen kann, ist dann, dass der Körper sich an diese externe Zufuhr von der Droge gewöhnt und ohne gar nicht mehr funktionieren kann.
Withdrawal can feel so miserable that it seems only one thing can help: getting
More.
high again. A vicious cycle. Regular long-term use of methamphetamine can lead to serious health problems, including depression, heart attacks, and epilepsy.
Bei Crystal ist es eher so, dass es zu kognitiven Beeinträchtigungen auf Dauer kommt, also Konzentrations-,
memory and shit, yeah, there you go.
Aufmerksamkeitsproblemen, Gedächtnisproblemen.
thought
Vor allem die
no, it sounds like
Aufmerksamkeitsspanne
it's
ist
fuck, this
stark
motherfucker.
eingeschränkt im Dauergebrauch, also nach Dauergebrauch.
The body deteriorates, poor skin, severe weight loss, bad teeth. Over time, meth damages organs and causes brain damage.
Das ist auch noch ganz, ganz wichtig zu wissen. Diese Stimulantien, Methamphetamin, aber auch Amphetamin und Kokain können auf Dauer psychotisch machen. Und die Psychosen sind sozusagen die schlimmsten psychischen Störungen. Das sind die, die mit Wahn, Halluzinationen zu tun haben.
Psychosis. Jesus.
Here's a map of all
Don't
the
do
meth
that.
labs that were shut down in Europe between 2018 and 2020. It's clear here that Czechia is a major stronghold in Europe. In Germany, Bavaria and the East are most affected. But further west, you can see that the Netherlands, Belgium, Norway, and Sweden are also established meth hotspots. Large amounts of crystal meth in the EU now come from the Netherlands or Mexico. It's believed that Mexican drug cartels drive a lot of this traffic, using their expertise to cook meth in Dutch and Belgian labs, while precursor chemicals are smuggled into Europe from China. By now, the drug is firmly entrenched throughout Europe, and it shows no signs of disappearing anytime soon. Traffickers exploit international trade routes, airplanes, cargo ships, trucks. If one route gets shut down, another opens up. Occasionally, authorities report successes against drug traffickers, but the larger battle is widely considered unwinnable. Between 2010 and 2020, the quantity of confiscated methamphetamine increased nearly sixfold in the
What
EU.
the heck?
One researcher in the European Union Drugs Agency warns that currently there are indications of increased methamphetamine use all throughout Europe. Wastewater analysis confirms an increase of consumption in many European countries.
Really?
Fast forward to 2023. Ashley's been using crystal meth for 2 years now. She's been homeless at times and has given up custody of her daughter. She's lost contact with family and former friends. Today, she's using meth again. But this time, something's different. She feels unwell and realizes she can't properly talk.
Having a stroke.
After using, I wasn't in control of myself. I struggled to speak. I knew what I wanted to say, but I couldn't get the words out. Instead, I just sat there, staring into nothing.
She calls an ambulance. Shortly after, she's admitted into a psychiatric hospital.
That, in and of itself, was a reason to quit. But then I found out I was pregnant, and that was the real reason.
Ja, alles gut. Wenn du eine Pause brauchst.
Yo.
Sorry.
Nein, alles gut. Danke fürs Lange. Wir machen mal eine kurze Pause, oder? Das ist vielleicht besser. Dann kannst du kurz was trinken.
People struggling with addiction have various ways to find support. Often the first points of contact are community outreach volunteers or social workers. They help users with everyday struggles like finding a place to live.
Well, I mean,
But just as importantly, they support young people in taking the difficult steps out of addiction. By 2021, Dominic reached a breaking point.
I noticed suicidal behavior in myself, deliberately giving myself overdoses. other problems added to it as well. Physically, I could
I'm gonna
feel
eat my
it.
food.
Either I kept going with the drugs and I would probably die soon, or I changed something, and I wanted to change.
He decides to start addiction therapy. Beating a crystal meth addiction usually means facing a long and difficult journey.
Die Idee, ja, hör doch einfach auf, greift da schlicht zu kurz und wird dem Problem nicht gerecht. Die betroffenen Personen würden ja gerne aufhören. Manche würden ihren rechten Arm dafür hergeben, von der Droge loszukommen, aber sie schaffen das nicht, weil die Sucht eben eine ungeheure Macht über sie hat.
The first step is withdrawal. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks for the body to overcome a physical dependence. Afterwards, therapy can begin. We travel to a rehab center close to the Czech border to understand how it all works. This is Uwe Wicher. He runs the clinic.
Wir sind eine Fachklinik zur Rehabilitation von Abhängigkeitserkrankungen und haben uns auf Menschen spezialisiert, die von illegalen Drogen oder Cannabis abhängig sind. Wenn jemand zu uns kommt und Therapie macht, ist die Regelbehandlungsdauer 6 Monate. Wer im Haus konsumiert oder Drogen ins Haus bringt, für den ist die Therapie von unserer Seite aus beendet.
Addiction therapy in Wicher's clinic takes place in 3 successive phases: an orientation phase, an intensive phase, and a reintegration phase. After physical detox, the therapy focuses on building awareness of the patterns that led someone to use the drug. Patients work on strategies to cope with difficult emotions and triggers. At the same time, they are prepared for life after rehab. It's not only about getting clean, but also about staying clean. For starters, this means leaving your old life behind.
Um dort wirklich von der Droge wegzukommen, musst du dieses Umfeld verlassen. So, und die Frage, die man sich auch stellen muss, sind denn das wirklich Freunde, die man dort hat? Oder besteht die Freundschaft? Oder ist die überhaupt erst dadurch entstanden, dass man gemeinsam konsumiert, vielleicht auch gemeinsam kriminelle Machenschaften an den Tag legt?
It's also about developing a whole new perspective on life.
Solche Perspektiven, die Sinn geben, denn Sinn ist wichtig, um auch abstinent sein zu wollen.
And patients have to prepare for difficult phases ahead.
Also in jeder Lebenslage, wo es ihm nicht gut geht oder man sich auch langweilt, kommt dieses ganz automatisch dieses Bedürfnis, jetzt möchte ich eigentlich wieder drauf sein. Diese Erinnerung ist dann im Suchtgedächtnis verspeichert.
Addiction memory can be treacherous. The danger of relapse lurks everywhere, even in places where you would least expect it. It's 2014. Dominic's been in prison for over a year and a half. You might think he's long gone through detox. Think again.
In fact, there are both officers and inmates who smuggle it in, either through visits or through the officers themselves, depending on what the officer earns from it. In my prison, it was basically the norm. You could almost say that there were more drugs inside the prison than outside.
In prisons across Europe, it's clear inmates are routinely getting high. Drugs are regularly found and seized by authorities and show up in urine tests. Supplying a closed-off prison population with drugs may present dealers with added logistical challenges, but the demand is high. Drugs sold in prison...
Yo, how about you blood test the inmates? Oh, you have meth? That's not impossible to get meth. Okay, review all the tapes, look at all the shit, look at everybody, and then put the fucking people that are doing shit in the jail too. Are you kidding me?
Sometimes fetch 4 times the profits than those sold on the outside. Beyond visitors and prison officers, Dominic also tells us about others you might not normally associate with crystal meth.
Another common way to get drugs is through the prison's priest. He brings in a lot of substances.
We were also not able to independently verify these claims. We reached out to Saxony's justice authorities but received no response. Dominic also tells us that even outside prison, some police officers will turn a blind eye to crystal meth.
I never once got reported for meth possession. They never filed charges. When I'd be sitting with my dealers, sometimes cops would come in to pick up their own stuff. And we'd know about raids ahead of time. We'd get the heads up a day or so before a raid. So we had time to stash stuff away.
We were also not able to independently verify these claims. Prison guards, priests, even police officers. Dominic's accounts, if true, show just how deeply methamphetamine has penetrated all layers of society.
Oh, stop smoking it, motherfucker.
methamphetamine has a certain reputation.
Da klebt so ein anderes Etikett dran. Ne? Da klebt eben dran, das ist die ostdeutsche Unterschichtsdroge.
But the more experts we spoke with, the more complexity we found. Meth is used not only by marginalized communities impacted by poverty, but Europeans from all walks of life.
Also wenn wir uns unsere Klienten und Patienten angucken, dann kommen die aus ganz unterschiedlichen gesellschaftlichen Gruppen und Verhältnissen.
According to Dr. Mühlig, some use meth for neuroenhancement. They find that meth can boost performance at university or on the job.
Dude!
Wir haben hier auch durchaus Patienten aus höheren Statusgruppen wie Managern, Bankern, Investmentbankern, die ihre Quoten erfüllen müssen. Auch Wissenschaftler.
These people are bugging. These are experts. These guys are bugging on a stack. That is crazy. Buddy, the other effects of it are almost overriding it, the need to feel productive in a way that would make any sense at all. But you're euphoric, you're bugging on a stack. Yes, you might not feel stimulated and want to maybe be productive, but the other effects are so high, it overrides that feeling entirely. Bro, it doesn't make any sense at all. It's like, you're not like locked in, you, boom! I have to file my taxes! I want to file my taxes right now! Like, bro, no, that's not, that doesn't do it though, like.
Manchmal dabei, also wirklich auch.
Like, what the fuck is that? That doesn't make sense, sorry, I disagree with it.
They have to do a lot of repetitive tasks, like sitting for hours on a tractor plowing the fields.
Da kann Crystal Meth natürlich helfen, Müdigkeit zu überwinden.
Da gehören Schichtarbeiter, LKW-Fahrer sicherlich auch dazu.
Man möchte gar nicht dran denken, dass da welche auf Crystal Meth unterwegs sind.
Then there's the classic party context where meth is used like ecstasy or cocaine. There's also a pretty sealed-off scene called chemsex. These are groups where people meet in closed circles for sex parties.
Das ist eine Droge, die mehr als andere Drogen das Lustempfinden steigert, also sehr stark sexualisiert, die Hemmschwelle senkt, das Lustempfinden steigert.
The strongly sexualizing effect of meth comes with a whole host of other problems, particularly for female users.
Was in Sachsen uns sehr große Kopfschmerzen bereitet hat, nämlich dass auch überproportional viele ungewollte Schwangerschaften dann entstehen.
It's not uncommon for female meth users to keep using while pregnant. This can lead to prenatal damage and neonatal impairments. The fetus can be severely harmed and born with limitations or sometimes serious disabilities. Of the 35,000 children born in Saxony in 2015, 160 to 180 were diagnosed with damage caused by the drug. And these are just the reported cases. The undiagnosed number may be even higher.
Und das ist natürlich nochmal ein ganz schlimmer Folgeeffekt sozusagen der Verbreitung von Crystal.
When Ashley finds out she's pregnant, it's a huge wake-up call. It changes everything.
For me, that was really the turning point. When I found out I was pregnant, I didn't want to keep going. I knew I would be harming my child, and that was the moment I said, it's now or never.
Well, I mean, she already did it, so what's the point?
Yeah, I am. My boyfriend supported me. He said I could go to therapy, and I would have done it, but ultimately I overcame my addiction without. The pregnancy gave me so much strength.
Well, I hate to be rude, but I mean, she already did it. No, I'm not, guys. I'm listening to the story, but I'm not gonna like validate like fucking evil behavior. Shit's fucked up. Fuck you on about.
I could handle all of it and take care of my daughter.
Give you understanding
without
being
easy for me in the end.
Like soft on it either.
Ashley managed to quit meth without addiction therapy. She gave birth to a healthy baby, who she tells us is developing well.
Keep going.
Both Dominic and Ashley have left meth behind and are leading lives free from the drug.
Und wenn man mit den Patienten redet, dann sagen fast alle, hätte ich es bloß gelassen. Also niemand steht dazu oder würde im Rückblick sagen, ich finde es gut, diesen Preis zu zahlen, das war angemessen, sondern der Preis ist viel zu hoch für das bisschen Vergnügen, was man für eine relativ kurze Zeitspanne eigentlich hatte.
It was on purpose. Dude, come on, bruh. There's a level of like self-awareness and fucking sex health where you don't, like, that risk doesn't even fucking come across. Like, that's awful, man. Like, what the fuck? Dude, you need to stop getting past this to people, dude, because, oh, dude, oh, this guy drove drunk. Well, yeah, but the accident he had, when he was drunk. Bro, some of this shit, you're brain dead. Stop that shit. Fuck that.
Würdest du jetzt, wo du das alles durchgemacht hast, würdest du nochmal anfangen mit Crystal?
Never again. Never, ever
Taking
again.
high risks with your sex health
Their
as you're
stories show
smoking
that the
meth
journey to
is
recovery
dank.
is absolutely
Way too
worthwhile.
dank.
I believe anyone can quit. But of course, you have to find the will to do it within
Why
yourself.
would you even take the
Also das
risk?
Fazit ist, dass man vielleicht beharrlich sein muss, dass man mehrere Anläufe braucht, öfter, dass aber am Ende das jeder schaffen kann, auch wieder loszukommen. Mit professioneller Hilfe, mit Eigenmotivation. Aber irgendwann ist der Tag gekommen, wo man auch wieder ohne die Droge leben kann.
Anyone struggling with methamphetamine addiction can seek support from friends and family, from community outreach workers, or through local addiction counseling services. Links to online resources can be found in the description.
When I look back to the time I was using, my world was so gray. Since I stopped using, my world is full of color again. I enjoy life again. I can enjoy the small things, like when an old lady smiles at me. You can appreciate these things way more if you don't use.
I think oversimplificating something that's more complicated. It changed your brain structure. You're wording this in this thing. I feel like a lot of these videos, like shit, are wording things in a ways that like your lips hit the pipe and some fucking claw from fucking Toy Story goes into your brain and starts.
My therapy is your stream. xQc
Like
despair.
Jesus, man. Like you're making it so simple. Like there's no like steps before like increase in severity. Like you're not fucking mind controlled. I respect you for spreading awareness, but I have to stand on business. The VOD script is bad. True. These are two very different topics, but yeah, true.